Mark Waid has been losing his mind online lately. It's really funny because he's gone on these tirades about ComicsGate before, and of course, it's resulted in him deleting his Twitter or things like that before. And now, of course, so he takes it to Facebook, where he thinks he has a little bit less of a following that's opposed to his crazy tirades, I guess. But people still see this, and of course, we still get the screenshots. Sorry, Mark Waid. Anything you do on this level when you go absolutely crazy is going to get seen, and the internet is forever. Very embarrassing for the writer, and we're going to get to what happened today in just a bit. My name is John Delarose. I'm a #1 best-selling author and award-winning comic creator myself, and I've got my online web store where I've got a bunch of beautiful books for you. So if you want to check these out, please head to the links in the description below, delarose.com, or my Subscribe Star. Of course, if you want to support that level and subscribe, that would really help us a lot out too. And we have a bunch of great stuff. I have to pick one for you to start. Overmind, I think, is probably my best book. So why don't you go here and grab this today. I will ship it out today too for you. Thanks very much for all the support in our comics and, of course, and in our comic reporting news. So Mark Waid uses the woman's GoFundMe for her terrible disease as a platform for unhinged rant on ComicsGate. This is from my website, Fandom Pulse, which is, of course, the most trusted name in comics news already. 10,000 views strong as of this morning. Thank you guys so much for reading. So Mark Waid has been going off. Of course, he started going off on Mark Millar in the comic industry. At some point, he said, I think a lot of us would rather see the industry burn down than get together with the, quote, alt-right. I know I would, sorry. So very weird. I don't know who these alt-right people are in the comic industry, boogeymans that Mark Waid is seeing in the shadows, but it seems to be anybody who disagrees with Mark Waid at all politically or about what's happening in comics. We've done several articles on this because he just keeps going on these super long tirades. He once said there was no identity politics in comics. There's not one legitimate example of it. And it's like, wow, where have you been the last several years, Mark? Jeez. But he also admitted the other day that we were right, that there are problems in the industry and that a lot of what we've said is absolutely true. So he went back on some of it. And once that happened, he got himself flipping out on Facebook. Now, apparently what happened was he posted a link to a GoFundMe right here. There's a lady and she's needing some surgery for a problem that she has health-wise. And I guess she's a friend of Mark's. I don't know. He claims that there's a bunch of trolls online who are going out there and leaving nasty comments. And of course, he says they're all ComicsGate and alt-right. This is what he says.
Earlier today, I posted a link on my GoFundMe supporting a woman for long suffering from endometriosis in dire need of surgery. If you missed it, I'm relinking below. I could have limited the comments viewing to friends, but I thought it's important to circulate the message as widely as possible.
So he's immediately talking about how virtuous he is. This is all about Mark. This is what narcissists do at the end of the day. They go out there and they just make every situation about them. Now here he goes.
It took the ComicsGate and alt-right trolls less than an hour to try to overrun the comments section in a now deleted hate, totally unrelated grievances.
So he's claiming that he had overwhelming comments from ComicsGate and alt-right, who, of course, we don't know who commented or if anybody commented at this point because Mark apparently went through and deleted every single comment on that. I actually saw the post. There seems to be 3 comments on it, and none of them are what Mark says. So what's going on? Is there an overwhelming amount of hate? You wouldn't be able to delete an overwhelming amount of hate if that's actually happening. So unless Mark has so much time on his hands, it's crazy. But it is what it is. So this is what he's saying happened here, and he gave no evidence of this. However, what Mark is going to do next is absolutely disgusting. He's actually using this woman as a shield, and her whole deal as a shield to attack ComicsGate and to attack people who disagree with him politically in comic books. Why would he do this? Why, what he elicits with this, by the way, isn't just people who are, random online people who are angry with him and his stupid comments over the last couple of weeks where he attacks people viciously for no reason out of the blue. He makes it sound like people like myself, like Ethan Van Sciver, like, John Malin are out there leaving comments and leaving hate on his page, which we're not. I mean, Mark, geez, I've tried to reach out and email Mark about this. I talked to him and left a message and I said, hey, would love to have you on the show. I think you're a really good writer. Let's talk about comic books. But these guys can't do that. It's all just this political hate all the time with them. And it's really sad to watch. I asked him for a comment on this and if he had receipts or screenshots on the story too. He did not reply as of this video. So here it is.
I point this out to remind you how truly bottomlessly awful these people are.
So yes, he is very much projecting here, as he's using this woman's GoFundMe as a crutch and something where you're not allowed to criticize him because he's doing something so virtuous, as a platform to just attack people on the internet. This is really sick, really disgusting. If you think normal comic folks overreact to their tantrums, I will ask you to consider how sick and twisted and pathetic someone has to be to troll a post not about comics, not about politics, not about me in any way, but about a desperate woman in constant pain from endometriosis who wants nothing more than not to suffer every day. What kind of grotesque, sad soul would pour hate into the thread? Not for 1 second, considering how hurtful it might be to this woman and her family, who I know will be following that post in the comments. So, of course, this now is about Mark, and Mark is making it about politics and ComicsGate. He says it's about alt-right and ComicsGate, right? And so he's making it all about him. He's making it all about his little fights, and he is making this thread and using this situation just in the way he describes. It is actually, what is it? Sick and twisted and pathetic, as he describes. I agree with him on that.
These are the same professional victims who say the most despicable things imaginable, then scream bloody murder because liberals and SJWs aren't willing to see their way and give them a hug. They are a cancer on the industry, full stop.
So again, he's conflating. So if maybe he got a couple comments, I don't know. Maybe he deleted a couple comments. He made it sound like it's the end of the world. But it was definitely not somebody who's like the creators, like myself, or like John Malin, or Ethan Van Sciver, or Shane Davis. We were not doing this or leaving any comments on that post. But he conflates it here intentionally to try to attack us in order to, of course, make some sort of victim narrative, like he says, like he's being a professional victim who's saying the most despicable things imaginable and screaming bloody murder at us. It's very weird how much these people project at the end of the day. And this is the creepiest part about this. Look at this on a woman's GoFundMe post. Like, he's trying to, like, I guess, raise attention for a GoFundMe.
I want my tombstone to read F ComicsGate.
What a psychopath. Jeez. You know, they always talk about hate and how like we're bigots and hate people and all that. I mean, can you imagine the amount of bigotry and hatred to, like, say F some group? I want that on my tombstone. Like, that's what you want to be remembered by. And of course, using a woman's GoFundMe for this is just sick. But his commenters are pretty sick too. And so this guy, apparently, that's his sister.
They have given me one more reason amongst many to love seeing their vile, disgusting, washed-up, racist, and misogynistic asses not getting work.
Again, if there were a couple A-log trolls or something like that who are just fans of comics, it's not John Malin or Shane Davis or Graham Nolan or Aaron Lopresti, who are people who are making comics, doing anything like that. It's those guys are just trying to sell their books, working on their books, being nice guys, and actually respecting their customers, unlike Mark Waid. But you see, because Waid conflated this on the post, this guy's like yelling at people, like hoping they don't get work, like hoping these artists can't feed their families, hoping that people don't, like, that I stay blacklisted from the industry so I can't produce good books to counter all the crap that's out there. Like, this is really weird and sick. I mean, if this is this guy's sister, like, I mean, Mark really has missed the mark and turned this guy into just abject hate online. Very creepy. Apologize for the language, but I can't think of a nicer way to refer to those pieces of human excrement. So the dehumanization of people who are just professionals in the industry, professional journalists like myself, writers like myself, artists like my friends, are completely dehumanized here. All because Mark Waid is throwing a tantrum online. Now, again, I didn't see any evidence that there was like this overwhelming amount of hatred or anything like that. But gosh, Mark is certainly spewing an overwhelming amount of hatred out into the world. It's very sick, very sad that he used this lady's GoFundMe like this, and very sad for the family that they are being caught up in hatred, as he says down here, because Mark Waid is making up some nonsense and going crazy online. So this has very real impacts, and this is very sad to see right before Christmas. I hope these guys get off the internet and touch some grass. I really do, because Mark, you used to like write some beautiful comic books. I'd love to see you get back to doing that and like, you know, maybe help the industry get back on its feet so that it stops making all this crazy woke content that's destroying things. It's your guys' fault at the end of the day, and it does need to stop, and the hate does need to stop, but it's not coming from us. We love everybody, don't we? Leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit that like and subscribe button. We'll be back soon.